Good evening. Good evening. And I'm back. It was morning when I left, but it's evening when I'm back. I haven't had a crash for a couple hours, so I think it's safe to get back to streaming once again, and so I will. I made it to the last part of Act 2. In my early multiple crash session. League mechanic so far seems pretty good. At least it started really great for me. I got the chest with a bunch of currency. It's like 8 chests filled with currency at like level 3. And like good currency too. This is the League mechanic, Affliction. Don't understand all of it yet. Wander around in here. Occasionally you get to places where you'll start collecting little motes, and the little motes will buff up the critters you fight in the real map once you exit the little League mechanic map here. Not entirely sure what that big splody of visuals was. And in this particular case, we will not come away with any goodies or much of anything at all. Like I said, I don't really understand the mechanic yet. Good evening to whoever has joined me. But that little poof there is me empowering various and sundry mobs in this map with the juice, so to speak, from the mobs I killed in there and the stuff I collected in there, which wasn't much, so I don't know if it's actually going to amount to anything or not. I have died twice. As is tradition, if I die early in a league, it is because either of the League mechanic or I opened a chest with freeze on it. And in this case, it was indeed the League mechanic who's killed me twice. Early on, it can be quite brutal. Since then, I haven't really had a significant problem. But I did die twice pretty early. But as I said, I kind of expect that. That's par for the course. Hold on. I have someone I need to talk at. Ah, fat body, my friend. I hope your weekend is kicking ass. 49 months, as you are now beginning year 5 of the magnifying lens experience. May God have mercy on your soul. But all evidence implies that he's not. By the way, I don't know if you were around for the Grim Dawn streams, but I was playing a character with the suspiciously familiar name of Fat Body. Yes, I named a character after you. Never died either. So next time I go back to Grim Dawn, I have to play Fat Body. SOD. Something of destruction? I'm trying to come up with something clever other than that, but that's what I've got. Season of Dementia? Oh, Season of Discovery and WoW. Right, gotcha. Yeah. No, I was tempted by that too, I have to admit. Which class are you playing? And how is it going? Have you found runes? Are you empowered with goodness that was never around in the original game? Tell me. I assume you mean rogue, unless you are actually a makeup artist. I'm a mage guy through and through, gotta admit. That's always been my first go-to in almost every game, is a mage type. Mind you, I did a fair chunk of time on my rogue. Ah, well, sometimes you gotta learn how the other half lives and dies. For a while, I did twinking. I had a twinked rogue back in vanilla. And was capable of actually being a somewhat terrifying force in PvP. Not because I'm good, but because I had a twinked rogue. I think it was the 29 bracket, but it might have been the 19 bracket. 29, I'm pretty sure. But I would, do stuff like capture the flag multiple times and get the most kills on either team. Again, not because I was good, but because I was really well twinked out. I will also note that my rogue was the last time I spent any substantial time playing on the PvP server was on the rogue. And I was bopping around, technical term, in around Hillsdale, I think it is. Used to be the big PvP zone. Where everyone would go, all the Alliance would fly up, and the Horde, it was primarily a Horde leveling zone. Anyway, I was in there at, there's a ruined fortress in the area whose name eludes me. And I was there trying to run some quests, and in 5 minutes, I got ganked 3 times, each case by a rogue at least 20 levels higher than me. And that was when I said, maybe I'm just not built for a PvP server. I never understood the entertainment value anyone can get out of that. But I know... Oh, okay, so now you see all these little yellow dots we're picking up? You can see right over here, we are getting vivid wisps. And these will do things for the mobs in the map we will face later. I don't think they affect the mobs in this map. I think they affect the mobs in the regular map when you leave. Whoa! Stop hitting me so hard. I really don't think that was necessary. You don't have to hit people that hard to make an impression, okay? That's just showing off. Nobody likes a show. And some of these mobs will also be empowered with one of the forces of the wild. And this is a pulsing tuber, which is a little mini chest. We got more yellow juice over here we want to grab. We have a little glowy thing, which I still don't really know what it does, but it's glowy, therefore it must be good. If there's anything we've learned in life, things that glow are good. It's just one of the facts of life. We're not into the real build yet. I'm playing, or going to be playing, Summon Raging Spirits. But that doesn't show up for a bit. Right now we're in... that's the end of the map. We're playing Rolling Magma. Holy Flame Totem doing yeoman work. Now we zop back to this map, and the mobs in here, some of them, will be empowered and will most likely kick my ass. See, that one said Vivid Empowered. And theoretically, they hit harder, but they also drop more loot. The exact details of said mechanics, not that sure. But it's definitely, at least for me as a player, a vastly better league than the last couple. Vastly better. The previous few I just found really bad. The mechanics in them were mini-game mechanics, and the mini-game I didn't find interesting. And to be successful at it, you kind of had to build a build for it. So, I know a lot of people liked it a lot, but for me it felt like, this isn't Path of Exile in it. Got some similarities. I play Path of Exile to play Path of Exile. Not to play Team Force Tactics. Or Hades. Despite the fact that Hades is a magnificent game. I just think a crappy version of Hades in Path of Exile is not an interesting game to me. I play Path of Exile to play Path of Exile. And I really enjoy when the league mechanic is interesting and useful. And so far this one has been fairly useful. Again, I don't have a full grip on exactly everything about the league, so hard for me to say how useful it's going to end up being. Get out of the splodies. It did have a glitch, kind of a little minor problem, which is not that unusual for a new season of Path of Exile. I crashed about a half dozen times. I crashed once and said, and I was in a 12,000 queue and said, okay, I'm going to guess that crash is indicative of something. I'm going to quit now. I'll come back when I'm sure the servers are stable, or 5 p.m. Pacific, depending. And it was the right thing to do. There was a problem when you went into town or were just in town of the client crashing out and you going right back into the queue. I had it happen about a half a dozen times. But it hasn't happened for hours, so I think we're safe now. Actually, what I need to do is go to town because my bags are almost full. I hope everyone is enjoying the freedom of a Friday and upcoming weekend. And it does seem that logging into town is taking an extensive amount of time. Now, of course, the player base is cranking out rumors as fast as possible. The general rumor being that it's something to do with the new MTX. Also, people are very unhappy with one of the new MTX that has you accompanied by a small goblin band that plays music. And people don't like, when they're in town, having to listen to somebody's goblin band playing music, which I kind of get. There they are. Doop, 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 doop. We want to sell. Hi, Groist. How you doing? Groist. We're going to sell things to you. And you're going to buy them because you're not very smart. There it is. I don't find it that annoying. On the length of annoying things, or on the list of annoying things, that one's not that bad. But as I put in Reddit, if you give the players an opportunity to grief other players with a repeatable sound, they will. I learned this in WoW pretty early on. You give people an opportunity to be a jerk and abuse other people, they're gonna embrace that opportunity enthusiastically. In early WoW, there was a toy that made a choo-choo train. That was a choo-choo train. And when you used it, you would hear woot woot, woot woot, and people would do that in the cities over and over and over again. If you're a developer who includes a mechanic for players to grief other players like that, I hope you end up working for a really shitty company and hate your life. Don't give the players an opportunity to grief other players in general. If you're building a PvP game, that is kind of predicated on griefing, but that's a different kind of griefing. Now, I will note, Guild Wars 2 has a weapon that was so loathed by the community, they added a clicky to mute legendary effects. There's a short bow that makes a horsey sound every time you shoot it. So it would go, nee, 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 nee. And it was apparently even worse if a thief had it because their default shot bounces. And every time it bounced, it would make that knee sound, that neighing sound over and over and over and over again. And it was so loathed by the community, they had to add an off button for it. So at this point, anyone who has played an MMO knows you don't include that kind of stuff. Unless your intent is to provide a way for players to grief other players, in which case, go fuck yourself, frankly. It's not funny. It's annoying. Now, in this particular case, I don't find this one very annoying. On the long list of annoying things about the game, that doesn't even make much of a cut. But then I haven't had to hear it that many times yet. That'll probably happen soon enough. I'll probably hate it then. I mean, everyone knows I am, after all, a hate-filled monster, so sooner or later I hate everyone and everything except, obviously, Fat Bunny. I mean, anybody who wants to hang around here, they can't be right in the head. And so, you know, you kind of have to be nice to those who are challenged. They'll never be changed. Not a level for me. One of the cool things they have added, for the first time that I'm aware of in this league, they have always had a way, if you were willing to drop enough money, that they would let you create some content for the game. A div card, or a unique item, for instance. Well, now they're giving you a way an automated way for people to create maps, specific one-use maps, where they get to pick from a raft of mods that can be added to the map, and making it increasingly difficult, and then the player would have to choose to play the map. Those maps that they can make can now appear as a regular drop. So, for instance, one of the modifiers you can add is that if your character dies, they get moved to the Void League. If you wonder what the Void League is, the Void League is a league where all you can do is look at the picture of your character, I think. You can't play them anymore. So, people are creating maps with extremely high rewards and extremely difficult modifiers to the map, including the modifier that, in essence, permanently wipes the character. Let's go to the top of the ancient pyramid. Or wait, no, this is the first level of the ancient pyramid. My bad. Not the top. We're not at the top yet. We'll go to the Viridian Wildwood. Find the NPC in the map, if they're in this map. I don't think they're in every map. They're occasional visitors to maps. Let's go ahead and buff ourselves to kill off the Grime Stalker. Getting any more glowy bits over there. We got glowy bits over here. A few glowy bits. No, there will be no NPC here. I think I've only seen him 2 or 3 times. Back to the ancient pyramid. Now we have given all the critters in here, well, not all the critters, a lot of the critters in here, we have buffed them. For instance, this one has got little sparkles showing off of it, so it's going to be bad. Welcome back, Nodnox. And good morning, I believe. Gotta be morning, right? Alright, they're glowing. Extra fire damage and exposure. Haste aura. This is probably going to sting a bit. You got him. Not a problem at all. Yeah, 2 in the morning. Let's see. 5 p.m. here, 9 hours. Yeah, I thought 8 or 9 last night. I was considering, you know, a Swede had been in channel. I said, I think that's 8 or 9 hours. So, yay me, I figured it out. I'm smarter than I look. Or sound. Or the testing indicated. Are you always a late owl? For many years, I was. I would go to bed at 4 a.m. I used to be smart. I'm getting dumber. I think that happens as you get old. I used to be smart. But then there was even a time I had hair, so... That was a hell of a long time ago. Well, aging sucks, but it's better than the most likely alternative of not aging at all. Because you're not existing at all. it's way better than not existing. It's not as good as not aging, but way better than non-existence. My advice, just stay young, guys. That's it. It's that simple. Just, you know, stay young. Everything's easier when you're younger. We go up. Well, I've got 20 years on you, so from my point of view, still young. Not being able to sleep. I had a lot of problem for years, many years, getting to sleep. But once I was asleep, I was fine. And now, thanks to modern science, I don't really have much problem getting to sleep. Staying asleep is tougher. But in my case, that's because as you get older, your body decides, hey, you've been asleep for 2 hours. You need to take a leak. That's the sort of thing that makes me say, yeah, just stay young. Not that way. Not that way, so this way. Ah, severe tinnitus. Yeah, I have it. I have it weird. And my right ear always has it at least a little, but sometimes very loud. And sometimes my left ear gets it, and my right ear gets really quiet, maybe just in comparison. One of the things I've found helps me sleep is white noise. So I have a Amazon branded voice activated device, and I just tell it to play Distant Rainstorm. Yeah, I don't know enough about the tinnitus to really know the difference between them. I know that most of the time when I get it in the left, it is about the time I've been having problems hearing in the left because I get liquid draining into my ear, I assume, like through my eustachian tube. When that happens over the course of a couple of days, that'll go away, and the tinnitus in that ear goes away as well. Yeah, for me, it's never been serious enough that I've looked into it medically. It's like I get migraines, but my migraines are so minor compared to most people who get migraines that it's not worth going to a doctor for. I am lucky. I'm the world's luckiest migraine haver. Ah, ooh, that's, yeah, loud sound. I can understand that. That's pretty brutal. Spell damage, rank 1. For me, at least, though, the white noise generated by my Amazon voice-activated device, Alexa, I don't want to say it because I don't want to activate anybody else's device. Just telling it to, Distant Rainstorm. For me, at least, that helps a lot. It also helps. I live in a condominium, and don't drop the ceiling on my head. That's just a dick move, dude. Oh, he's empowered. Yeah, that's the problem with doing the League mechanic. However, the bosses can get empowered. Also, the white noise generation also helps drown out any noise in the courtyard of my condo complex. I am liking the new league mechanic. The last couple I have been very, very unhappy with, or at least 2 of the last 3, because they were replicating mini games, and I don't play Path of Exile to play a crappy version of TFT or Hades. I play PoE to play PoE. I like the league mechanic to be additive, not sort of completely separate. And this one seems to be. So yeah, the league mechanic itself seems better than the last few. So far, I am pleased with it. I'm not pleased with the loot that dropped from that guy, though, man. Seriously. You can do better. Act 3. Act 3. Yeah, the last couple leagues that I really didn't care for had, that's not where I wanted to go. I clicked wrong. I will now attempt to click right. I have clicked right. But one of them was like sort of an auto battler, and the other was sort of a rogue light. And my understanding is that, I mean, I saw a lot of the player base really liked them a lot. But for me, I didn't. I don't play deep into the end game most of the time. I'm not interested in optimizing out the ass. And I'm certainly not interested in optimizing for a league mechanic that I find boring. And that's what those were. And the gameplay, I didn't particularly care for. It wasn't for me. So I completely recognize that the design itself was probably good in that so many players liked it. Just wasn't my thing, man. For me, it wasn't good. We want to put our div cards here. Thank you. You know, there are some of the PoE League designs I think that most people like. There are others that most people dislike. But there aren't a lot that are just plain bad. The Nemesis League, as an example, the Nemesis League was fine. It was good. I liked it. The Nemesis mechanic that they brought into the game, I think, has fucked the game up. I think it's awful. Here's the Warden. I did not play MUDs. Now, for me, I was a computer game player since a very young age. I mean, I bought my first computer in like 1979 or 80, an Apple II Plus. So I've been playing computer, and I bought it to play games. So I've been playing computer games forever. The online space never grabbed me for a long time. A friend of mine recommended Ultima Online. I played it for a month. I didn't like it. Didn't resub. If I'd been griefed or scammed or anything like that, I'd remember why I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. I don't have strong memories of it at all. The first online game that really grabbed me, a friend described as being a lot like the game Shadowrun. It wasn't. But the game was Anarchy Online. And since Anarchy Online grabbed me, then Star Wars Galaxies, since then, I've been playing online games.
You carry an aura of vivid energy.
Yeah, that was the first one that really grabbed me.
To learn more.
And then Star Wars Galaxies, that's the one that just absolutely reeled me in.
Go with Maka's
That's the
guide.
first one that ever became almost an obsession. Daok, yeah, I know a lot of people who did. I tried Daok. I never even got into the PvP because the PvE leveling was so slow and for me, uninvolving. But then I was playing alone, too. I wasn't playing with any friends or anything. That's one of the kind of games where, since it's largely group-focused PvP, you kind of want to have a group that you're playing with regularly, a guild or something like that. Yeah, the RVR is the reason people played. I've got friends who swear by it, so yeah, I am familiar with it. In fact, I was just watching. Who was playing it? Kriparian was playing on a private server the other day. I was watching Krip play. So he was playing, running around. He was trying to level up in a private server. I think leveling up his RVR stuff. How did he ruin it for you? I mean, for me, yeah, it's the game I play most now. It's my most played game on stream. And it's the game I play most off stream. Consistently. I'm always going back, playing more. New content, play more. Go back, play more. They brought out something new and interesting, play more. I feel like playing Guild Wars 2. I'll find something to play, I'll play more. I have about 4K, well, I have over 4K hours on my main account. And then like another 400 or 500 on the alt account. And I'll be playing again tonight. At least to just do the login stuff, the daily login stuff, and do my dailies. I'm curious how the friend screwed it up for you. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 is definitely my most streamed game. I think it's like 600 hours streamed out of the 2,000 that I've streamed. I just recently hit 2,000 hours streamed. I've been streaming for about 4.5 years. So I do, most nights I do 2 hours. Sometimes 3. Occasionally longer. And on average I go 5 or 5.5 times a week. Usually more than 5. What I've found is, as a retired guy, it's easy. You know, a lot of people talk about, you know, they retire and they don't know what they're doing with themselves. What I've found is by having something I do pretty much every day, it adds structure to my day. Just like, you know, having a Monday through Friday thing for your job gives you structure in a week. Having a stream to do most every night gives me structure in my week. It generally allows me to keep up
there you go.
with what day of the week it is.
Stay out of the shadows.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Gaming brings people together most of the time, but occasionally, yeah, occasionally, it tears things apart.
What's going on?
Do we have any 4 links? Looking for 4 links. Looks like no. Nope.
Don't do anything I would.
When was the last time you played Guild Wars 2? You know, at what point did you leave it behind? Because the game is in a really good place right now, generally speaking. Quite a while. Well, all I can tell you is that you've got some great birthday presents waiting for your characters if you ever go back. Just putting that out there.
Greetings. You may
It's
approach.
the Primal Huntress.
If you
She sells bodies, which is way more than a little bit creepy. Oh no, she sells the charm, so I'm not currently using that.
keep learning.
That particular skill tree. So 2015, I don't know. That's either before Heart of Thorns or after or just after the Heart of Thorns, I think. So you haven't played with mounts. They're good. Ooh, a well. Heart of Thorns was the first expansion for Guild Wars 2. Yeah. And it was significantly harder than core Guild Wars 2. They've had 4 expansions. They just had... February was the 4th one to drop. The second expansion was Path of Fire. The big feature in that was mounts. And the Guild Wars 2 mounts are universally agreed to be the best mount system any game's ever had. In fact, the latest WoW expansion, Dragonflight, is kind of based on stealing stuff from Guild Wars 2's mounts. You know, that's not really meant as an insult because, I mean, Blizzard has always been a very, very polish-based company where they take ideas other companies have and then polish them up. So the first expansion, Heart of Thorns, brought in a new class, the Revenant, brought in gliding, and brought in a mastery system, which is a horizontal progression system. So, for instance, in the case of something like mounts, your mount can jump further and can get hit more before you get dismounted, stuff like that. It has game impact, but doesn't really make you any stronger. The second expansion was Path of Fire, and that gave us mounts as the primary feature, and the mount system is freaking amazing. The third expansion was End of Dragons. That took us to Cantha, if you're a Guild Wars 1 player. Cantha was something a lot of old school Guild Wars players wanted to see in Guild Wars 2, and now we've seen it. And that kind of ended the dragon cycle. And the new expansion is Secrets of the Obscure, which is our first non-dragon related one. Thank goodness, finally. And they started a new sort of paradigm for it, which is going to be yearly expansions with 3 content patches each, after each. So we've had the first content patch on Secrets of the Obscure. And first? Yeah. I tried Guild Wars 1 a number of times. I've bounced off that game more than I bounced off this game. And this game was 4 or 5 tries before it stuck. Yep, Rift. I was a day 1 Rift player. I played and streamed that within, I'm gonna guess, the last 6 months. It was, and most of what made the game good is still there, except the players. I mean, it's still live. It still has players. You can do instant adventures still. There's more than enough people to do instant adventures, especially when things are jumping. But it is mostly on maintenance mode now. Yeah, there was an awful lot of good stuff in Rift. Still is, for that matter. Another level for me.
Delivered to this task, I will prevail.
Blue glowiness. That was an infested corpse I just killed. Ooh. Okay, just ooh, I think, is sufficient. The Porcelain Queen. I have no idea what's going to happen when I click this. Dodge-based tanks alive in dungeons? Yes, it would be. Ah, but which healer? Were you a healing cleric, or a healing mage, or later on healing thief or healing warrior, because they added those. They also added a melee mage.
Our mother's queendom has been destroyed. Our brethren.
I know a lot of the players who speak glowingly about Rift. One of the things that pops up very frequently is a lot of people love the Chloromancer, which was the healing mage. Chloromancer was the healing mage. There were a lot of different specs that could heal in with Cleric. If you don't remember what it was every class had a number of souls, and you could choose 3 of the souls. And so, to some degree, you could mix and match. It was never quite as powerful as it sounds like, because one of the 3 got all the points you were allowed to put in it. The second one got all the points, basically, that you weren't, that you couldn't put into the first, and the third one usually had like nothing put into it, or just a couple of points. All right, and we are once again going to be facing mobs that are powered up. Orb of Fusing, always welcome. I think that's the first 4 socket I've gotten. I need me some 4 links, please. Not sockets, links, guys, okay? Yeah, I played a number of different classes in that. I played a DPS cleric. My mage is my most played. I really did like the okay, over here. Particularly the melee mage, when they added that, I really enjoyed that. That was a very heavy macro-based class. For those who never played Rift, it offered a very powerful macro system that allowed you to basically one key a lot of functions, where it would try to cast a particular spell or attack. If that one was on cooldown, it would move down to the next one on the list, and so on, and then it would pop back up to the top. And so you could have a basic rotation just controlled by a single click. Throw the lever. A lot of really good stuff in Rift. Yeah, it was never really clear to me exactly what happened with the company and whatnot. Tryon. Because everything seemed to be going so well for them for a while. I mean, for quite a while. You know, they brought out an expansion, and they kept dropping out content so much faster than it seemed like anybody else was doing.
Allow your wisdom to be tempered by the flames.
And I just didn't understand how they could keep producing content at that pace. It just seemed ridiculous to me. And it was good content. And they were just cranking it out much faster than like a WoW ever had. But like all good things, okay, not all good things, but like a lot of good things, didn't stand the proverbial test of time. Although, as I said, it is still around and is still playable. And that's way better than all of the games that are completely gone. WildStar, I miss you. Stop summoning more mobs, you jerks. Was that amen for WildStar, I miss you? Fat Buddy? Yeah. Stop it. Just stop. Why must you keep summoning more undead mobs? Aren't there enough undead mobs for everybody? I think there are. Well, I mean, certainly it had problems at launch. They sort of promised one game that most people weren't that interested in, which was a really challenging raiding and dungeon game. And what they found was there wasn't the market for that they kind of thought there was and were counting on. Oops. And one of the things that you kind of need with almost any game, but especially an MMO, you kind of need a decent start. Now, you can overcome a game that doesn't have a decent start. An example of that would be the company that just announced a new game they're working on last night at the Games Awards. Haha. Game Awards. More like ads. Which is the guys who did No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky launched as a complete and utter shit show, but in time, they turned it into a really good game. But, you know, Final Fantasy XIV famously launched as a complete and utter shit show. So much so that they had to shut the game down and completely redo it. That's, I gotta say, that's a pretty good definition of a shit show. Yeah, I would agree that certainly has turned it around the most. Exactly, Final Fantasy XIV.
There's your truth, heretic.
So, I mean, it can be turned around, but it's going to require... Most companies aren't going to give a developer sufficient time to fix something that's busted. They're just going to throw in the towel. You know, so caps off to Squeenix and caps off to what, Yoshi P? Yeah, I never tried it. I would love to take a swing at it, just so I could see what it was. generally, I like to at least try an MMO that I think I might like, even if I'm pretty sure I won't. Because I want to be able to comment on it with an informed opinion. As an example of that, I tried Elyon. I knew I wasn't going to like Elyon, but I tried it. What do I say about it? The gameplay was surprisingly really good. Everything else was trashed here, but the gameplay was solid. You know, it had the Asian gaming, you have to upgrade your gear with a chance for it to break completely and be destroyed. No thank you. It had the most banal kill 10 rats questing system I'd ever seen. You mean DDO? Yeah, DDO, it really does require a group. It's not a soloable game, and for me, I like to largely play solo and then play with friends when they're on.
Tolman's dead then.
But experience has burned me on playing with people I don't really know. Generally.
General Gravisia. Talakora.
I will note also, though, that DDO was the Western wellspring for a pox to the MMO player base. Sadly, they were the first Western MMO to announce and try free-to-play. They announced they're going to go free-to-play. Everyone mocked them and laughed at them. Their revenue went straight through the roof. Number of players, amount of revenue went way up. Sadly, it didn't stick, but the damage was already done. Latro announced within a short period of time that they were going to go free-to-play too. And their revenues shot up and then went back down. But that was the beginning of the Western MMOs going, our game isn't as successful as it should be. We're going to go free to play. And all of the problems we've seen that lead to. Well, certainly a transitioning from 56.6 to DSL link is going to make a huge difference in your quality of gaming, for sure. I mean, you can't fault the guys for when the game is suffering to try free-to-play. But everyone seems to have fled towards free-to-play. And sadly, now too many players expect everything to be free-to-play. But the free-to-play games, they've got to make their money. And the way they make money, a lot of people don't like. 51, 56, also 56. Fire and Lightning Riz. We can sell those too. I mean, I've cited this before. I had a friend who was working for Cryptic at the time that Star Trek Online brought in their first lockbox. And in 2 days, they brought in as much money as they had in the previous 12 months. So the reason we have all the things that people hate about free-to-play and microtransactions and lockboxes, the reason we have all that is because it works. Maybe not on you or me. Okay, maybe not on you. It kind of works on me. Fire and Lightning. Fire and Lightning. A little bit more of that. Sure, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Stop it. Stop it. Go. Get in there. Sit. Stay. Good boy. But now if we remove the Summon Raging Spirits that we're leveling up, and we remove the Vitality, we no longer have anything socketed in our boots. Would we rather have 30% movement speed or 25% life? Because I currently have a thing from the new League mechanic where if you have nothing in your shoes, you get a 30% movement bonus. If you've got nothing in the sockets in your gloves, you get a 25% life bonus. If you've got nothing in your head sockets, you get a big elemental defense debuff. Yeah, I'm over 100% right now. I'm going to stick with that one for at least through Kitava. And in the chest, I don't remember what the chest gives if you've got no socket stuff in your chest. I don't remember. So I've tried DDO several times, but the really need a group aspect is a tough sell for me personally. Right, back out here. I tried UO in the day. Where are we at? 4? 4 out of 6? 4 out of 6. It just didn't do anything for me. I didn't dislike it. I didn't get griefed or ganked or anything like that. Or I would have remembered it for sure. So much of my life is rage fueled. I would have remembered had rage driven me out of the game. It's empowered by Vivid and Wild. And yet it dropped nothing. So I played it for a bit. It just didn't grab me. I played for a month, and that was it. Like I said a bit earlier, Anarchy Online was the first one that grabbed me. And, so that one baited the hook, and Star Wars Galaxies reeled me in. It doesn't surprise me, given Funcom's Scandinavian origins, that it would have a solid Scandinavian player base. I've gone back a couple of times over the years. I know I've streamed it a few times. I am a big one for going back to old games, old MMOs at least, and playing them again. It's one of the reasons I've been doing. I have these series of videos, a series of videos I've done. How about that? There's some unnecessary extra words in there that I call my free-to-play throughs. Basically, I take a game that I've played a lot and usually paid a lot into, and then I have an alt account and I play the free-to-play experience. And that's the sort of thing I could do. I could see myself doing for Anarchy Online now that I think about it. Let me add that to the list. Sockets, but they're not linked yet. Come on, guys. Time to start throwing some 4 links at the old man. Give the old fart a break. Oh, they're wild empowered. And all those little yellow motes. Vivid empowering stuff. Gotta slurp up all the little yellow motes. I can understand losing your goodwill towards the company in Age of Conan. I was an AOC day oneer. Actually, I'm pretty sure I played that one in the beta. Oh, he's bad. He is a bad man. I am not a fan. Once you got out of Tortuga at level 20, that game had issues. Up through, one of the things is that if you played through Tortuga, you were thinking, all right, we've got a great new game here. And then you got out and there wasn't much to do. Funcom, man. Yeah, not to talk about non-features, just didn't make the launch, yeah. Funcom can really, I mean, one of the games I have played, and I think I did a free-to-play through on it. The Secret World. There's so much in the Secret World and Secret World Legends that I love. But it's another game that got Funcommed. And now we get to find out what they're going to do with the Dune game that's coming. And like, I find myself hoping it doesn't get Funcommed again. They can just make such really good, interesting, inventive games and then manage to screw the pooch. No, there's already a real-time strategy game out in Dune. This is, it's somewhat like the survival game, Conan Exiles. It is got some of the same features. They say it's more of an actual real MMO and not sort of an instanced survival game, but it does have survival aspects. Dune Awakening, I think, is the name. I need to check and see where I'm going next in my tree. And we've gotten all of those. One more point there. Okay. We got all those. Good. We got those. Good. And there is 250 accuracy for minions. I'm going to need that shortly. Oh, and there, I think. And there we are back. I don't know. I know Conan Exiles has been actually very successful for them, so I don't think they need it, for purely monetary purposes. And it does look significantly more refined, let's say. So I don't think it's fair to call this one a reskin. It's understandable that someone might assume that was going to be the case, because, well, Funcom. Like I said, they can make some really good, interesting, different games and always find a way to screw it up. So in this case, it is also possible, though, that because they've got access to this big of an IP, they don't want to screw it up. So I'm not going to assume that it's not going to be good or assume that it's going to have problems. I do recognize, however, that we are talking about Funcom. And even when they succeed, they have a way of fumbling it. Sadly. Don't screw it up, Funcom. Come on, guys. You can do this. I have faith. I don't actually have faith. I'm just trying to keep their spirits up. I want them to stick the landing on this one. so much good stuff in, for example, Secret World. There's so much good stuff in there. It's got great story. It has the best questing of any MMO ever. Yeah, my understanding is it's been very successful for them. I'm not sure if it's quite up to the levels of a cash cow, but I think it's been continually successful for them. It's my understanding anyway. They keep throwing more data, more content into it, expansions and whatnot. I've got friends who play it constantly. That one was triple empowered. Nasty. Am I going to have to go back? No, okay, I'm not going to have to go back. All I had to do was wonder if I was going to have to go back, and the last piece showed up. The last of the platinum busts. Right there. Bust of Marseilles Lioni. They did. Flame wall. Technically not a firewall, it's a flame wall. They are different in ways. And it does what you think. You do something through it, and it does, whatever you do through it, does extra fire damage. Makes sense. Well, they're always cranking stuff out, and if you think you don't recognize this stuff, they added 100-odd new skill gems. Now, they're not completely new. They're just revamps of older skills where they revamped them. Completely redoing a skill. There's an essence drain that doesn't do a dot. It just does a really big hit. There's just basically every spell you can think of. They've done weird stuff to. Added the different kinds of gems. Some of them have like 3 different new flavors of the same gem. A righteous fire that's based on mana instead of health. Weird twists to stuff. Something that now fires a whole bunch of arrows instead of just one, but they no longer pierce or something like that. So they've added literally more than 100 plus new gems. All of which were old gems. These are just different. Not necessarily better, just different. You know, people have been a long time complaining that, you know, why is there nothing new or interesting? And, well, this league, they're offering a lot of stuff to change things up. They changed a lot of the base skill gems that people have been playing forever. In some cases, nerfing them substantially. But they've also added in the new varieties of old skill gems. There's a zombies. Summon zombies. They don't fight. They don't do anything. They fall from the sky and hit things. That's one of the new zombie spells. Instead of them appearing on the ground and fighting, they fall from the sky. Yes, let the bodies hit the floor. And do direct damage that way. Magi. Proclamation. Oh, Magi. Sorry. This one's primal empowered too. Well, that's why I've got 500 primal wisps, which means anything that's primal empowered in here is going to be a lot more powerful than it was. The little dots of light are the kind of wisps. Doesn't look like anything else around. Back to the map. So that's something I'll have to be aware of as I go through the game, that once you get out of the wildwood, all of the little essences you've picked up will buff mobs in the next map. And so you want to be careful. For instance, I probably don't want to pick up a whole bunch of mobs in the map where I'm going to be fighting Kitava in Act 5 or 10. Because if he's like hasted and doing extra damage and stuff, he's going to kick the living crap out of me. Generally, not a fan of having the living crap kicked out of me. Oh, yummy. Nice drops. So the skills currently on my toolbar, this is the default attack, and I removed that earlier. Rolling Magma, that's this one. Same old Rolling Magma. Holy Flame Totem. It's a totem that spits holy fire. Flame Wall. Flame Dash will be the same. Wave of Conviction. And Ellie Weakness. But it's going to be, soon now, I promise, a Summon Raging Spirits build. And as an example of the new alternate skill gems, I know the Summon Raging Spirits one, instead of being able to summon up to 20 spirits, you can summon only up to 6, but they're bigger and they always crit. They've changed them. Most of the spells in the years you've been gone will have been changed in a lot of ways. Some of them have been nerfed or just simply altered. I have leveled as SRS in the past, Summon Raging Spirits in the past. But right now, in the state the game is in, you basically don't want to... There's no big advantage in swapping over until you get to about where I am. Or possibly a little higher level. You get through the first labyrinth. I head back to town. We'll see what I can do with them right now, actually. I've been leveling up the SRS gem. Oh, that was some nice back pops right there, guys. Ah, good ones. I don't know. At least another 45 minutes, probably longer, probably like an hour and 45. I would like to do a 3-hour stream. Hi, Hargan.
Bring me back something nice.
Yeah, I'll bring you back something nice. Let's see. Check the build again. Right. Next point is here. Minions 20% regenerate. Yeah, that seems pretty good to me. Anything in here worth trying to use? Let's no on that one. Cold damage spells and attacks. Nope. This is a hat. It's a better hat. I have a new hat, guys. I want to keep that one for now, as it has bleed removal. We'll sell our junk.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so we currently have combustion, elemental proliferation, and rolling magma. And what we want, if we're going to swap over to SRS, and I would like to, is melee splash, LE damage, and unleash. I don't think unleash is available yet. Might be that unleash is theoretically what we're waiting for.
Watch yourself.
No support gems there. Do I have melee splash? Or I think I bought a melee splash at some point. No, I did not. Shoot. Well, let me fix that. Melee splash, LE damage with attacks. We do have the LE damage with attacks. We would like to level that one up. Don't think we're using that one. So I will pop back to Act 1. I think melee splash is available there. And I'm going to check and see where unleash shows up. I want unleash really. And preferably a 4-link. But we'll see if... Well, I'll probably get by without. I'll try without. Don't crash out on me. Don't you do it. Don't you even think about it. That's a long load. Also, never tell anyone your password. It's totally not 1, 2, 3, 4 pass. I promise.
Yes?
Would I lie about something like that? I don't think unleashes. No. Splash! I don't have the strength for it. I feel shame. I don't have the strength for it. I'm going to have to get some strength points. Give me some points into some strength. Head back to Sarn encampment. Check my gear, see if I can add a strength enchant on somewhere. Or if I have. Do I have anything? I have a crappity ass ring. This is better than my crappity ass ring. Because it was really quite crappity ass. Well, that would be a bleep ring. Let's see. We can put this in our offhand and at least start leveling those two parts. Now we'll see if I can remember to switch back. Yay, I did. Go me. I'll set this in here. $43, what was it? 46? 49. Let's see. All the int stuff is up here. All the strength stuff is down there. Well, shoot. In a couple points, will get me there. Where am I going to next on my tree? We are headed in this direction, I think. Enduring bond, yeah, that direction. Let's see if I can drop an enchant on something. We'll travel to my hideout. Well, the one I was looking at is one of the splits where you have your off-color Stat. Where was I looking? Where did I see that? There. So you have strength and agility here. Well, what we can do... It helps if you spell it correctly. Lens. So yeah, we've got a throbber there. We got those. That was 10. That's 10 and 10. 10 there. Yeah, it would have to be there for 10, and 10's not really what I'm looking for. Why is it I can't spell strength tonight? Don't know. So it is a suffix. I thought it was. Normally, I save my suffixes for elemental resist, but as long as I don't put any gems in my headpiece, I have extra bongo amounts of LE resist. How much in a bongo, you might ask? Go ahead, ask. Go ahead. Really? I don't have an open suffix anywhere? Oh, I do in there. Okay. My belt. Belt's pretty good. That one's going to be staying around for a while. We can give it strength. 19. Yeah, well, the nodes have been moved around endlessly. Added to... removed. This is the new mastery stuff. Really? Do I get 2 more? Do I have 2 more? I have 2 more Wildwood points. Okay, well. That gives me Bearskin Blessing. I don't even know what the hell that one does. A 25% mana reduction. Okay, well, I can't use that right now. I could remove something. That. Sanctity has 10. 8 o'clock. 6. Oh, yeah, the strength point's there. Yeah. If I'd gone this way, through it, yeah. Or there. But I've added enough, at least for now. Let's see. I would like to keep Vit. And Herald of Ash, where they are, because I don't want to lose them. But theoretically now, theory's a marvelous thing. How sad that it so seldom resembles practice. So I need reds and blues. Well, let's see if I can get lucky. I'm going to try and link my coat. The odds aren't good here, guys. Looking for a 4-link. I've got enough armor, I can raise it up, so I will. One fuse, you called it. There it is, right there. Or there. Possibly there. I'll take 4. Now, what this means, theoretically, I love theory. SRS. Melee Splash. We don't have Unleash yet. I didn't need all 4. Was it LE Weakness? Let me check again. Checking again. LE damage with attacks. I needed 2 red. I needed 2 red in that. Curses foiled again. Okay. You were only off by a little on the previous called shot. Yeah, I've not gotten anything early. 35. Level 35 is theoretically when 5 links, 5 sockets start showing up. Can we get 2 red? 2 red. We want 2 red. Gimme 1, 2 red. Right there. Coming up. Real soon now. Anytime. Okay, now I'm settling for 1 red. Oh my god, seriously? I don't think I can use it yet. This is my life now. This is my life. SRS goes back in there. VIT goes in there. Another SRS goes in there. Some skills were good enough on a 3-link. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, I've been leveling and could continue to level with what I'm currently running around with without too much of a problem. Do I have another one-hander with a red in it? I do. And we need to get our VIT back. Our Herald of Ash, where are you? Oh, Herald of Ash stayed up, so clarity. The other one we have is the new one that we got from the new Ascendancy that goes with the new game system. Increased armor per bark, less physical damage taken per bark. Gain 1 bark each second if you haven't been hit. Lose a bark when you're hit. Maximum 10 bark. 2 more chance to evade attacks per bark below minimum, below maximum. That's not bad. And they will sue. If there's anything we've seen in the last few years out of the artist formerly known as Tactical Studies rules, it's nobody can quite bungle the way they can bungle. Sadly to say. But then, you know, given the way they've screwed up Magic the Gathering, it certainly can't be a surprise that they would also screw up D&D. Pen and paper RPGs? I surely do. Monday night, I was running a game for my friends. Essentially, it's a bit of a mix. Essentially, it began as a Call of Cthulhu campaign until they had their minds yoinked off into another world, and now they're playing in RuneQuest game. They'll eventually go back, they hope, to their bodies. I was in a little before the dark. Revised, I think, was where I came in. So that was just before 3rd edition. Oh, you don't have to kiss up by describing my beard as wise. You're not in the game. Yes, I played... Wait. What the hell is that over there that I don't immediately recognize? Did I miss something? Oh, I definitely missed something there. I didn't do the trial. So that's definitely a mistake. To the Ascendancy trial, and I kind of need that. Yeah, I started playing D&D in 75. I have 1st edition 2nd printing rules.
I shall wipe that filth.
And I have run
God.
countless freaking games. 2 blue, 2 red. In the shoes. Well, the funny thing is I mean, they were they came in this cheap, fake wood grain box. The game itself was really primitive, to the point where I don't think any players who came in later on would really recognize the game. There wasn't much in the way of rules. It was, in a lot of ways, it was sort of an expansion to their miniatures rule set of chainmail. And a lot of the game systems that frankly are in pretty much all of the MMOs these days and most RPGs, things like levels, were in there and were created to kind of replicate a game function from miniatures rules. Basically, all levels are, or all levels, hit points? Hit points. More what hit points are is attempting to replicate a stand of miniatures. You take hits, and in a miniatures game, you take a certain amount of damage, and one of the figures gets removed from your 6 or 8 figures on the stand of minis. And so a lot of the game systems are just trying to recreate bits and pieces of a miniatures game. This guy's really empowered, and I'm not a fan of his empowerment. Oh, no. What is with the frogs charging at me and exploding? Also not a fan of exploding frogs. I think it's cruel, not to the frogs, but to me. I've played a bunch of Warhammer 40k computer games. I'm not sure which edition. I had a set of the rules. I never actually played a tabletop version of the game. I'm a big fan. They just, of course, released the new RPG for 40k. Rogue Trader was just released. I am a big fan of the Warhammer 40k ARPG. I don't know if you ever played the Warhammer 40k ARPG, but I think it's quite good. If you're not familiar with it, that's Inquisitor Martyr. Yep, exactly. I have played that on stream a number of times. It's a game I think a lot of. Yeah, I think it's quite good. I think if you're an ARPG player, it's worth looking at. If you're a Warhammer 40k player, it's worth looking at. If you're both of those things, it's almost certainly worth just playing. So yeah, I agree completely. It's, I think, a really good, solid MMORPG. I was tempted to get Rogue Trader yesterday and stream that, but I knew I was going to be streaming PoE. I thought, you're going to be streaming PoE, just don't get caught up in another game yet. You can do that later. Also, it's a I can't remember the name of the company, Owl something. Their games are kind of notorious for being really good, but always a little bit janky at launch. So it might be worth waiting a month or two. So I'm using that as the reason I'm going to wait a while to buy and play Rogue Trader. That combo platter of me wanting to play this. But I definitely plan on buying and playing Rogue Trader. And I have to say, I was very tempted to dish out the $200 or whatever for the Rogue Trader special edition that came with the big figure. That's 5 out of 6.
Hope in the left hand, surety in the right.
And I don't need anything else in here. We'll go back to town. I call that the cheaty way back to town. Why use a portal scroll? Oh, that's another one of the special effects from one of the new sets. No wonder people are crashing in town.
What's going on? Bring me back something nice, huh?
All right, we are going to go ahead and we're going to alch these. Give me something good. Movement speed, a couple of resists, and life. That's all I want. It's not much. I got one weak-ass resist and nothing else. Oh well. All right, it's fine. It's fine. It's going to be fine. I believe elemental damage with attacks. I believe melee splash. I believe SRS. Let's see, that's 31,000, and the other SRS is... They are identical? I got them at the exact same time? I evidently got them at the exact same time. So we can now at least try SRS and see if it's tasty. I'm not sure if they were smart about it. No more than one person can set it off. Basically, it's either a toggle on or off. But if you're asking my opinion as to whether more than one person can toggle it, yeah, faster casting wouldn't be bad until I can get the unleash. Good call, actually. I'm not sure either of them's available yet. We'll find out. We'll take a second and find out.
Yes?
Nope.
God hasn't abandoned
We'll try map number 2. Yeah, I've played SRS. I haven't played SRS for a while, but I have played SRS a number of times in the past. Wrong thing. No, we have... Oh, faster casting. For some reason I thought that was faster attacks. Oh, either way. Blink. Good suggestion. Don't backseat me! Unless you have a good suggestion, in which case, definitely. I am not averse to people backseating. So... we have lost our elemental resists, though, so we're back in the 50s and 60s. We'll have to be aware of that. We'll have to be cognizant. But we can now yoink these, at least for now. What do we have over here? We might need combustion support later. We might need LE Prolif later. We probably will not need rolling magma. And And we go here and gimme them raging ass spirits. Note, these spirits have no ass, so they can't be raging ass spirits. That's just silly. Okie dokies. Oakley dokley. We'll go through the part of town we haven't been through to see. Yeah, that seems okay. SRS is going to be fine. Unleash would be faster. Whoops. But faster casting will be sufficient. Well, I've always been an enjoyer of summoner classes. Although, it's hard to really call SRS a summoned creature, although that's obviously technically what they are. In we go. I say that a lot. Get used to it. I think we're fine with SRS from here on out. Thank you very much for the suggestion. That will help. Until we can get Unleash. If you're not familiar with Unleash, because you said you've been away a while, Unleash basically casts a spell 3 times. Yeah, it's faster. No, I don't think I was. But then my mouth, I think, has sort of a little sub-brain of its own that does its own processing. And stuff comes out, and I immediately don't remember what it was that I just said. I have not, however, watched a whole lot of The Simpsons. I think my brother has watched enough for the both of us. Ooh, purple. Delicious purpleness. Oh, Oakley Dokley. Yeah. Not the name. Now that you have specified, the reference is indeed a Simpsons reference, but it's a reference to the neighbor who's so wholesome. He says Oakley Dokley, so yeah, that is in fact the source. Even though I was never much of a Simpsons viewer, that was most certainly the source. Yeah, sometimes you may need to remind me. It's something that came out of my mouth because I just don't remember. It's one of the things that can make me very funny sometimes because a reference comes out of nowhere and I don't realize I've made it. Really? Until someone points out that what I said was kind of funny? Yeah, Ned Flanders, thank you. But my brain just kind of runs parallel processes, and one of them is in charge of the talks. That's one of the things that my brain does instead of doing something useful. The other things it does is remember really, really useless information. You know, don't expect me to memorize anything for the tests tomorrow. But if you would like me to quote a Monty Python bit, sure. Those things I remember. They're wailing on him, but they're not doing a whole lot. And I'm even hitting him with a curse. That was unnecessarily involved. Well, one of the things they did a while back is they added a system. They had an expansion called Nemesis. The expansion was, it was a challenge league. Challenge league was fine. Had a whole bunch of new affixes that these specific Nemesis bosses that you could sort of program them up with to make them bigger and tougher and give out a whole bunch more loot. So the objective was to make them as big and tough as you thought you could manage, and they dropped really cool loot. But in fact, it was just sort of a trial for their new affix system. And the problem is that we've been able to get them to get rid of the Nemesis affixes that they added to the game that all of the rares now have, where they can be ludicrously overpowered, even in relatively low-level maps and such. That was kind of when I stopped playing a half a dozen or more builds every league. Was the league after Nemesis. There was nothing wrong with Nemesis League. The Nemesis system, however, yeah, not a fan. Something in there's hitting really hard. And one of the things that you had in the Nemesis system was mobs that were in essence unkillable. They'd get 2 or 3 of the really powerful defensive mods and nobody could kill them. And if they got 2 or 3 of the offensive mods, the bad ones, they could one-shot you from before you even saw them. And sadly, even though it was the system Nemesis. I thought it was Nemesis. Arch something. Arch Nemesis League? Maybe it was Arch Nemesis? Anyway, it was a league maybe 2 years ago. Adds the following effect to all players. Hits against you were critical hits. But the player base, I don't want to say universally, largely loathed the mechanic, not of the league, but the mechanic that was added. Okay, yeah, Nemesis, you're right. It was not Nemesis, Arch Nemesis. I think Arch Nemesis, actually. Which makes it sound like it should have been related to Nemesis, but I don't think it actually was. So, the mechanic, when they added it to the regular leagues, was widely loathed. And is still widely disliked. And I don't think the game is, for me, the game has not recovered. I always take critical strikes and unique items I find have a 30% chance to be duplicated. I don't think I like that, actually, all that much, gotta say. Not a fan, really. I assume that leaves when it doesn't leave when I come out here. Oh, dear me. Everything that hits me crits me. Well, now I understand how that mechanic in the league works. Everything that hits me, crits me. I'm sure I won't die here. And the benefit I get? If a unique drops, it could be duplicated. Most of the uniques that could drop here are going to be crap. Harbinger was the first league I played. I came in at the very tail end of Harbinger because I had read about Abyss, and Abyss sounded fun, and I had tried the game multiple times, and I had bounced off of Path of Exile. Finally understood. It finally grabbed me. I got it. And so Harbinger I played a couple of weeks, and then moved into Abyss. I don't remember the time spiral block. I may have stopped playing MTG by then.
Interested, are we?
I really enjoyed the Tempest block. Was one of the blocks I specifically remember enjoying.
The Monkey King names you slave. No. You are the gems of Raypath, not the treacherous stones you dig and die for. It is time to bend the Monkey King's knee. Tell him your true name.
That guy is both vivid and wild empowered. And he can take a hit or two. That was a whole lot of SRS. 3 royal staffs. Ah, I do remember Mirage block as well. Was that flanking? Is that one of the keywords they added for Mirage block? Flanking? That's what my brain is telling me, but as I said, my brain is not necessarily believable. I know the Tempest had shadow mechanic in it. Any of these worth it? That one isn't. Pick up the thalmatic sulfite. Yeah, I think flanking was from Mirage. I don't remember what it did. The old brain. Yeah, that was pretty much sort of the heyday of my Magic the Gathering. We had a private league we ran, where we ran a huge draft. There'd be 8 or 10 of us, and we'd open a shitload of boosters, and we'd write down what was available, and then we'd do a draft, the way people do sports drafts now, fantasy football and the like. And you would pick cards. And then you'd build your deck from that. And the amount of time I dropped into those private leagues was just ridiculous. As we like to say, good times.
What's up?
For a while, I was actually a ranked player in sealed deck. I was the number 113 ranked player in the world in sealed deck. There weren't that many people playing back then, I can assure you. Allow me to assure you.
Don't do anything I would.
Well, what helped is the same place where we played our league matches, our private leagues, had a sealed deck tournament every, I think it was Thursday night. And at that point, on an average Thursday night, there would be like 6 or 8 of us in the top 100 in the world playing in just a casual tournament with like 16 or 20 people. And so your losses against these guys didn't cost you much. And so you could build up your ranking. Also, you learned to play against really good players. Match play in Mountain View. Represent. One time, for one of the release days, I was playing a booster draft because I'd already been knocked out of the sealed deck tournament. And the guy on my left was the #1 ranked Magic the Gathering player in the world. The guy on my right was the #7 player, and the guy on his right was the #2 player in the world. Casey something here. I don't remember who the other 2 guys were. Casey, god damn it, I can't remember. My brain. Have I mentioned my brain? Now this will replace this, as this has got a bunch of strength. So we now have enough strength that we can start raising those gems up. Reduced amount, but it gets curses. 640, 407, sure, why not? Why not, he says. Needless to say, I liked to joke that with the #1, 7, and 2 players in the world in my booster draft, I was going to end up with no colors. That all the cards would be gone by the time I got to them. These both go to Diala. Right? Right. And now we just need to go to I didn't get the Battlefront. Son of a bitch. Oh, well. We'll go ahead and jack up the mobs here because we can. This was in the early days of Magic, though, so it hadn't become anywhere near the thing that it would become later. I was a good sealed deck player, however. I was not a very good constructed deck player because I always wanted to play my own stuff, play my own deck, and that was not a very good formula for winning. I lived through the summer of Necro. Necropotence, if you ever played, it owned one summer of Magic the Gathering where everyone was either playing it or playing something that could beat it. I was playing something that could beat it. But I simply got outnumbered. It was a goofy deck I was playing. It had 4 Death Laces in it. And I had the pleasure of Death Lacing a Black Vice and then putting down a Circle of Protection black. That was a very, very confused player. It was a totally gimmicky build I put together because of Necro. I wanted to be able to death lace weird shit and Circle of Protection black it. And then later on, if memory serves, it's the same guy, I death laced his Urnum Jin, and his Urnum Jin killed him. He died to his own Urnum Jin. I don't even remember what the hell an Urnum Jin did. Green and 3, I think, for like a 4 or 5, but it did damage to the owner every turn, I think. Dude, you're dead. Give it up. Thank you. Einar, do your thing, man. Don't stand around with your finger in your patoot. Oh boy. This may get bad. Alright, we got the yellow one taken care of. That is a red beast. Did we get him? No, we did not. We get him now? Finally. Yeah, my memory was correct about the 1 green and 3 and the 4/5. Okay. So then if he gave me Forest Walk to one of my creatures, that's how I killed him, is I just killed him with the Forest Walking creature. Pretty sure it was an Urnum. What's the other Jin there was? I think it was like 2 green and 2. Not the Urnum. There was another Jin. That may have been the one that damaged itself. It's been too long. I'm amazed I can remember anything about it. The primary trick on my anti-necro deck, other than Death Laces and Circle of Protection Black, was it was a Pestilence deck. Yeah, I don't think it was that one. I do remember the picture, the art on the card you're describing right there. But I don't remember the name of that Jin. I don't think that was it. But I think that's the one I was thinking that it might have been. Did you freaking die? Josm. Yep, that's it. I loved the art on that one. I actually own the original art to 2 Magic the Gathering cards. One was Portal. Was Portal the name of the introductory type of Magic they brought into the game? I think it was. One of them is a Portal card. Dakmor Sorceress. And the other is Thrall Surgeon. 1 black and 1. I think it's black and sacrifice to take a card out of the other guy's hand and make him discard it. I also own the original art for, I think, 2 other cards. One from Legend of the Five Rings, if you ever played that. And one from, what was the name of it? It was sort of based as a Wild West, sort of a haunted Wild West theme card game. And the one I have out of that was called Vampiric Dance Hall Girl. I mean, who doesn't like a dance hall girl, right? I was going to say, I think the rest of this map's going to be bad for me when I get out of here and get into the map proper. I think it's going to be bad. I think I'm going to get my butt handed to me. I do remember Drew Tucker's work. Let's see. The ones I got one by Brian Snowdy. I can't remember who did the other ones I've got. Oh, RKF. Yep. He did a lot of really good stuff. I would have been very happy to buy any number of his cards. Can't remember the names of the other artists. Yep. A card I own, I do believe. Give me just a second here. I want to check my... That is entirely correct. A little more strength. Yay! Yeah, that was a big splody. These things are going to hurt. I keep hitting M because I want to see the map because I forgot that it's tab briefly. Holy shit! That guy is extraordinarily unfriendly and unwelcome. Like I said, these guys are going to hand my asses to me. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, generally, the artists don't really have much of a style of their own. That, just a regular archer there was brutal. Holy crap. It's going to be really easy for you to, in the new league mechanic, for you to buff up the mobs you're going to fight in your regular maps to be really awful. Alright. I could have sworn I'd grabbed it, but then I would be swearing incorrectly because it just went ka-dong, which meant that I didn't grab it, even though I walked by it previously. I will say that that is a complaint I have. Holy crap, again? A complaint I frequently have about MMOs that don't make me click on the damn fast travel point. If I'm close to it, oh, holy crap! These are really bad. I did say they were going to kill me. I did say that. Yeah, and these are just regular mobs. The only thing they are is empowered by all of the glowy bits that I picked up inside. I'm going to resurrect in town. Something I almost never do. so that I can cheese it, because otherwise I'm just going to die more. Now I've learned my limits, that maybe sometimes I don't want to pick up all the glowy bits while I'm running around in the under village town thing. The weird wood.
What's up? Don't do anything I
'Cause it hurts. A lot. So what I will do instead is I will go to the battlefront in a new instance where I'm not facing little dinky mobs that hit like a bazooka. Note to self, you are going back in. Don't get too greedy. Also, I didn't turn back on my auras. I should probably do that, don't you think? One aura, 2 auras, 3 auras. So far, I've picked up 95 vivid wisps. I know I was over 2,000 wisps of one flavor, and I had a bunch more of another flavor. And so all of those mobs in my regular map were just juiced up. So I know for a lot of the high-end players, the ability to really juice up the mobs in maps is going to be very attractive. Hit him. Eat him. Thank you. So these mobs will be only very slightly juiced. Because last time they were fucking awful. Pardon my French. They were bad. Alright, we need to find Diala, the Gemling Queen. I don't think we use skitterbots in this build. Alright, let's find Diala. Remember the lesson you have learned. Got it. I'm fine. I'm fine. I didn't even get out. Which one in here that got me? Probably him. He's probably the one who got me. But they're all wild empowered. But he frenzy charges and chaos and withered resistant. Probably the frenzy charges is why he was attacking me so fast. Okay, so that's another death. That's I think 4. That's 4 deaths in the league. Up. This time I remember before I started shooting and killing things. One of my rules for PoE is if I die in a league, even right off the bat in a new league, there's really only two things that ever kill me. One is if I open a strong box and it's got freeze. That'll kill me a lot. The other is the league mechanic. Because league mechanics tend to be, I don't want to say overtuned because that's not fair. At this point, they're overtuned for like the first few maps, but now I'm deep enough in the game, I can't really say it's overtuned. Sometimes they may kill me, but not always. If I'm careful, they shouldn't. But I don't really worry about deaths to the league mechanic because a lot of times they're overtuned the first few days. I don't think that's the case here. I think I hit a couple of bad ones early. That last one was really bad. The previous one that killed me, though, I overjuiced. And so that's kind of a me malfunctioning rather than the league being overtuned. I shouldn't have picked up all the juice that I did. I just didn't realize exactly how jacked up it was going to make everything. Now I know what it can be like when the mobs are really, really jacked up. They can bonk you in the head. How about an early 6 link? Come on, you can give it to me. Everybody dead? Yeah, now they're. Okay, here it is. Early 6 link. Not so much. I was greedy. I should have asked for an early 5 link. 6 link was a bit much. Yeah, I mean, I got something. Really, I gotta go back. I hate backtracking. All ARPG players hate backtracking. Somehow, unbelievably, nobody told Blizzard's D4 designers about this. That ARPG players hate backtracking. They were completely fucking unaware. I think what it really is a very good design of a game by someone who never played an ARPG before but had them described to them. Because they got bits and pieces right. It's got the shape, but it's not right. All right, let's see if we can not die this time. This is me trying to not die again. Also, I have to say, that setup right there might have cost me a death or two. Me not having that set correctly might have been responsible for a death or two. Not absolute slam dunk that was involved, but it is possible. Whoop! Gore and money. Very nice. Yeah, an AI designed... Describe a gave a quick description of an ARPG, added the words gore and money, and that's D4. Just so much of the stuff that, you know, those of us who've been playing ARPGs forever, oh my god, I'm going to die again, aren't I? Take for granted. Things like, we all hate backtracking. It's just a given. We hate it. Don't make ARPG players do a lot of backtracking. They didn't get that memo. Yeah, it could very well be a death amount of booty flies, as you put it. And I'm keeping grabbing more because I can't be taught. I don't learn my lesson. Yeah, it was interesting. I saw a review. Where was it? On The Ringer, which is primarily a sports website, but they also do gaming and you know, contemporary culture, stuff like that. And they listed the top 10 games, and Diablo made their top 10. And it's obvious they've never played an ARPG either. I finished the campaign. Basically, the way I describe the game is it's fine. It's not good, but it's fine. And for people who haven't played an ARPG, it's probably better than fine. But for people who've played Path of Exile, Grim Dawn, Last Epoch, Warhammer 40k, Inquisitor Martyr. No, that's not fair. Lost Ark had incredibly fun combat. A lot of the rest of the game systems were trash. The combat was fun. Combat in D4 was seldom fun.
Greetings.
I don't want to say never, but seldom. Yeah. I think the Paragon system in D4 is pretty good. It needs balancing, and it needs to be easier to respec and the like. But that's a system that's not bad. However, their end game, which they said, which in essence is supposed to be, according to them, the end game is Nightmare Dungeons, and that was the worst part of the game for me, was Nightmare Dungeons. Yeah, the affix system is half-baked, quarter-baked, unbaked, raw dough. Too many meaningless affixes does not make a thing interesting. All right, how badly am I going to get my ass handed to me here? Pretty badly. These mobs are bad again. They are bad again. I don't learn my lesson. That's the lesson I take out of this, is that I don't learn my lesson. Oh, he's bad. He's primal empowered. I don't remember which color that was. Blue, I think. Yeah, well, in particular, in this particular case, I think, yeah, greed is definitely what's threatening to kill me. I would say that you could certainly make the case that a good league system should be predicated on getting the players to kill themselves with their own greed. So this would fall into that. Give the players enough rope, and they will absolutely hang themselves. And I'm living the dream right now. Certainly at the end game, a lot of PoE is trying to get the most juiced map you can and not die in so that you get the fat loot. But in this particular case, I'm not even getting to the maps yet, endgame maps. I'm dumb enough to speed up the process. Hell yeah! Let me jack up all this stuff so that it'll murder me. What could possibly go wrong with this logic? Everything. Brainiac. It's Lady Diala.
You are not a cockroach.
You are not a cockroach.
What is that?
She calls me not a cockroach. I think she digs me.
Cockroaches will come. I like a dash. Goodbye. Not
Goodbye, not a cockroach. Yeah, I have stopped giving them money once the entire nature of 10 cent became clear.
We may just
There's a lot of good game in it, but they don't get my money anymore.
that imprison the mind. That is what the gems do. That is their true virtue. The moment the tips brushed,
But I certainly understand somebody's qualms with 10 cent in that I would wish they would stop investing in every game company in the world.
pressing against the bone, searching for a way to
No, I am an American. I am in the lovely and scenic Silicon Valley.
pain enough to allow the onset of sleep.
Spoiler, Silicon Valley, not lovely or scenic. Used to be, though, before my time.
Every spark
Many years ago, it was primarily orchards, Silicon Valley.
that I forged
Believe it or not. Orchards and a mercury or quicksilver mine. It was called the Valley of Heart's Delight
to these
because it was so beautiful and filled with all these orchards and trees.
Grey between my ears. Because they're still breathing, eh?
Well, now we have what I call Intel water. You know, all the nice heavy metals from chip production. What do we got that we want to keep? Anything? Anything at all? Sell. 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 And sadly, that one's got, yeah, I'm going to sell that one too.
Stay out of the shadows.
No, I'm fine with Silicon Valley. It's more sort of a joke that I make. The groundwater is not tainted, or at least not so much that, I mean, most of our water isn't coming from local groundwater anyway. I don't know if it's tainted or not, really. It's more a joke. No, I've lived in the bleeding charges reduced. That's actually a really good one. So you go there, and we can now yoink that one out for a different one. I've lived in the San Francisco Bay Area my entire life, so Yeah, I can't see. I couldn't even see moving away from the San Francisco Bay Area. Lived my whole life here. I love the Bay Area. When I was young, my family had a cabin in Northern California, far Northern California. And it was spring water. And it was not only incredibly delicious water, it was also, if you spent 20 minutes hiking back up into the hills in the valley that the cabin was in, it was the most beautiful place I've ever seen on earth. It was this small glade, large flat rocks, water welling up in it, surrounded by the pines. It was just gorgeous. Is there any place in northern Sweden that doesn't count as the middle of nowhere? I'm not familiar enough to know where the cities are in Sweden.
Have fun elsewhere.
I mean, Oslo, yes. No. Oslo? Oh my god, my brain. Oslo. Yeah, they're all on the coast, right. Oslo? Really? Did I say that? My brain. We're just heading right out. My embarrassment is complete. There we go. Physical damage. I don't need physical damage. Okay, that's probably the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I'm going to have to say that you summed it up really well. Alright, are we going to get ourselves murdered again? What are the odds? They're fair. Gotta say, the odds are fair. We're grabbing more juice. More yellow juice. At some point I'll have to decide what's a safe level of juicing and what's not. Warden of the Eaves. I'm currently a Warden of the Magi. Defenses from body armor are doubled if you have no socketed gems. What other ones are we having in here? I don't think I have any more points right now. Tinctures. Hits against marked enemies cannot be blocked or suppressed. Rare and unique enemies have minimap icons. Okay. Another carrion crow. Nice. That's the second one of those. Alright, we don't have a bunch of moats. That's an example of an affix from an arch nemesis. That thing. There it is, Lightning Storm. That's the one. Isn't it lovely? Not at all annoying. Stand still enough to get up enough. Finish her. Yeah. So that's an example of one of the new ones. They've added a whole bunch of very difficult affixes. And usually one of them is fine, but you start getting multiples and things can get pretty ugly real fast. Yeah, I could barely hear myself talk as well, so I'm not surprised you couldn't hear me with all the kabooming. Alright, so we've got a total of about 1,000 points of power. 315 purple, 101 blue, 687 yellow. Should be manageable. Let's find out. That one just had extra physical life. He wasn't empowered. Let's see. We would like to go over here and get the last of the ascendancies. Ascendancy trials to open up. So we can try and get our ascendancy, because we'll get much better when we get our ascendancy. Our ascendancy is really important to making this build really, really zing. Be judicious, Lens. Don't get too many. Get just the right amount. He's primally empowered. Fusings. Fusings. I'm starting to get not entirely comfortable with the amount of juice I am picking up for the monsters that will say hi. Ooh, chaos. So here's a change. Chaos is still like the secondary currency used for trading in the game. Not that I've traded exactly once. But Exalted is no longer the primary means of endgame. They made a change now. Divines. Because the crafting stuff that used to be done with Exalteds is now largely done with Divines. Alright. We're back. Mobs will be somewhat juiced, but hopefully not too juiced. That one was double juiced. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Mine, mine, mine. Last Epoch has really, really good, non-frustrating crafting system for ARPG. That thing is double empowered again. Yeah, the basics of crafting I can do. you know, obviously individual affixes, that kind of stuff. Alteration spamming, and then with a regal and enchant on top of that kind of crafting is about as complicated as I've ever gotten. There was a time when they brought in Harvest League. Harvest crafting was the most powerful this game's ever seen. Way more powerful than anything else the game has ever seen for crafting. And when I first saw it, I said, they can't be serious. This is a mistake. People are going to get this and they're never going to want to give it up again. And that's turned out to be the case. People got it. It was incredibly overpowered. And then they had an opportunity in the next league to basically nuke it completely. But they didn't nuke it until like halfway through the league. And so everyone's been talking ever since about Harvest. It's bad. It's just not as good as it used to be. Guys, nothing could be as good as it used to be. I mean, the best item for melee I've ever had in the game was when I crafted. With just basic alt spamming. I think I need to go back this way. But I know the odds of getting something like that are redonkulous. It was a tier 1 flat physical and a tier 1 flat attack speed on a two-handed axe. And the odds of getting that are astronomical. But with Harvest, it was easy. Anyone could do it. The crafting was so powerful in Harvest. Nice. I've never had a headhunter. It is still a chase item in the game. It's still there. Havoc Boggood is the first character to reach level 92. He's reached level 92. I am level 35. Yeah, well, I imagine that that would be the best thing most people have ever gotten. And better a headhunter than most people have ever gotten. 92 Havoc? I mean, I know he's a god, but seriously, 92 is just broken. Flicker Strike. I have done Flicker Strike exactly once. It was immensely fun. But yeah, it also was painful, let's say.
Precisely where he stands.
All right, we're going to go back to town. It was an immensely fun build, Flicker Strike, so I understand why people play it, because it was fun. But for anyone not familiar with Flicker Strike, basically your character randomly teleports all over the screen. But he doesn't teleport all over the screen. He and the screen teleport all over the place. So yeah, it can give you a headache. Really fast. But it's fun. It's just a really fun build. Come on, Farnham. Yeah. Come on. Wow, moving into town is really, loading into town is really slow, presumably because of the MTX.
What's going on?
No, thank you. No, thank you. That's not bad. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Bring me back something nicer.
All right, we're going to go for it. All right. Yeah. My assumption is it's actually 3. One of them is definitely wrong. I haven't updated it. I will do so now. Yeah, it does say a whole bunch of people in there. Fat Body might still be around. That's true. This guy named Nod Knox, he's there. Yeah, I don't understand how that works either. My assumption is mostly it doesn't work.
You stand before the gates of the Lord's labyrinth. Within these walls,
Let's see, are the any of these other names that I recognize immediately?
she shall weigh your mind in one hand.
I don't think I recognize any of those other names except Fat Bodies.
Should she find you wanting,
It might be people that came in and left. That's certainly possible.
find you worthy, you will be given the loyalty and love of an empire.
Not if I'm to believe the 3 viewers at the top, which I generally believe. In my experience, that's the one that's accurate. Why the other behaves the way it does, I don't know. I wish I did. So we are going to see if we can finish the labyrinth and get our ascendancy class. Yeah, it depends. On a stream like this, recently I've had like total number of viewers will be like 16 to 20. The largest amount I'll have at any one time might be, like you said, 9, and the average might be 4 are the kind of numbers I've been seeing lately. Those numbers are slightly improved over the recent past because it seems like I've been getting a lot more people viewing my streams on YouTube. So I assume that a few more people have seen something on YouTube that they liked that I did. I just upload my my Twitch streams straight to YouTube as well. And so my assumption is a few of the people have been dropping in and catching a little bit of the live stream as well. But I don't know for sure. I can't really recommend it. I mean, I've done a couple of actual videos, but mostly all I do is just upload my my videos here. Basically, when I finish streaming, I upload the stream to YouTube. Magnifying lens there too.
The weary traveler draws close to the end of the path.
No, I have looked into a little bit into co-streaming now that Twitch allows it. I have not done the necessary grunt work to figure out how to do it yet, but that may occur. When it does occur, I will certainly make sure that I put it on every stream. All right, Azara, let's go. You want to party with me? Let's get crazy. Let's go nuts. That hurt a little bit. Wow, stop. Really, dude. Tell you, all of his little mobs are really annoying. His little friends not making things easy for me. Jerks. I'm just not sure how easy it is to double stream like that. I mean, I know that there is Restream, which allows you, basically you stream to them and then they restream it out to multiple locations. I'm not sure if I want to start subscribing to a service like that. I need to look into more as to what I can do on my own. I don't know what Spy's Grip is, but they had it, whatever it was. No, I know Restream is not free, but there are other ways of doing multiple streaming that are. I believe it can be done with OBS, but not Streamlabs OBS, which is what I'm using. So I would have to learn to use OBS, which is a significantly more complicated product than Streamlabs OBS. It's more powerful, more complicated. I am certain I could do it. It's not like I'm new to this technology stuff. Stop with the sticky stuff on the ground. It's just annoying. Nobody likes it. Well, I mean, it is something I want to do. It's just a question of me getting off my fat ass and looking into what all's involved. Hopefully we can avoid... No, I don't think we can we? Let's see if we can avoid. We might be able to. Superior clasped mitts. Well, they're linked, but so that's nice. I don't want to go across all this stuff. Ooh, that's bad, 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 bad. Don't. And this is why I didn't want to do this. I've never been good at those kinds of traps. So, we'll just do it this way. Those things are timing, and I get flustered, and then I just really screw up. So. Minions, do not stand where the rotating knives are. The odds are that's not going to go great. Remember, rotating knives are not your friend. No. And this should take us to round 2. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Is I panic.
An emperor strikes without hesitation. To entertain doubt is to dance with death.
I generally don't. Wait. Yes. No. Wait. There we go. Unless they're specific boxes. There are boxes that I will throw currency at to improve. But generally, not that much. Not the sort of basic boxes. Such resilience.
Those who stand should never outnumber those who lead.
Now, generally, a strong box is going to get left alone, while leveling anyway, unless it's of a specific flavor of box. It was probably true then, and it may still be true. Yeah, I have no idea. But certainly once you've leveled up or in the end game, I think it's probably true that that any box should get some amount of currency thrown at it to optimize the stuff. And certainly there are some boxes that, regardless of level, I will throw currency at. The div card box. Generally in every game I am an altaholic. Yeah, that is absolutely true. It's a locked door. Of course it is. In a game like PoE, I like to play a lot of builds. I always have. If I'm having fun in a league, I'll reach a certain point where there's some other build that I've seen or I've gotten an item for. Oh boy. A lot of times it's item driven, where I get a rare or unique weapon or item and I go, oh, that would be awesome for such and such a build. I've never played that. Let me see if I can find a good build for that and I'll play it. And generally, I'm a little bit of a short attention span gamer. It's one of the reasons why I seldom finish games, even games I really like. Oh, I want to play this class. Oh, I want to play this class. Oh, that looks fun. I'm enjoying this game. Oh, look at this new game that came out. That looks really interesting. I want to try that. Yeah, I know. We've got big slammy blades, and as you would expect, these kill me not infrequently because I panic again. Azaro, the big boss at the end, is not usually when I fail a labyrinth the reason for it. Normally it's because I panic and something stupid kills me first. That's not uncommon for me to do as well, to play a single character to the cap or the end game and then start going, you know, I've had fun with this, but this other thing looks good. I really enjoy progression in a game like that. So, haha, poor sucker just sitting there getting beaten up, doesn't know why, doesn't know what he did to deserve it. But he's thinking to himself, somebody's going to go out of their way to kill me, and they're not going to get any loot from me. And he was right. Oh, well, that's probably then it is the origin of Arch Nemesis. It's the same sort of mechanics. brutal affixes. Because that's exactly what we experienced. A power ring. More power to him. Unlimited power! Yeah, I don't have to worry about the hardcore deaths. I know better than hardcore. I know I don't want to play hardcore. I have no confusion on this point that I don't want to play hardcore. I could understand playing hardcore somewhat on a local game. No, we don't want to go that way. But on a networked game, where if you DC, you're dead, I'm going to pass. I'm not crazy, but I'm not entirely crazy. I may be crazy, but I'm not entirely crazy. That's what was trying to say. I think. Well, I don't know. I honestly don't know what I'll be playing after this. I know what I'll be playing. There we go. This is the one I need. In February, I think, we finally get the launch of Last Epoch. It is. And I know I'll be buying the new expansion when it comes out. That's a for sure. Well, here we go. I've come all this distance to face Izaro once again. Last Epoch comes out in February. If you haven't looked at Last Epoch, you might want to. It's another ARPG. It is in early access right now, but the official launch is February. And it is very good and is very well liked by the majority of the PoE community. That's basically the description often used is it's between Diablo and PoE in complexity. Almost got him. Got him. And I think that's a good description, is it's in between the two. It's been in a good place for a long time. I've already put a few hundred hours into it. And it's been good and enjoyable, even though it was obviously still pretty rough. And a lot of those rough edges have been smoothed down. And I think it's going to launch in a solid state. And I would say significantly better than D4. But sort of between D3 and PoE complexity. And definitely the build craft in it is great. So many options for build craft. No. All right, we'll grab our ascendancy, which is Guardian.
Before the goddess of justice, you are worthy.
And in Guardian, we want...
Embrace our gifts and rise ascendant.
Not that one.
For
Not that one.
this is the ending that we all deserve.
Radiant Crusade.
When bound by faith and respect, the flock will overwhelm the wolf.
We now have a level 20 Summon Sentinel of Radiance skill. No, I bought Wilson at launch. It had some nice systems in it, but yeah, I know. I regret buying it at full price. Had I bought it at a reduced price and played it, I would be more appreciative of the things in it that were done well. Not a huge number of those, but they do exist. I don't remember what they were. Looks like I have one key. I will roll a d20 to see which chest. That's 1 through 4, 5 through 8, and 9, 10. We have an 18. That is this chest right down here, and I will take the currency. Currency, always welcome. And now we have the new thing. We no longer have enchants. They yoinked chance from the game. Now this is a chance to get the new gems, the new wacky types of gems. So, transform a skill gem to be a random transfigured gem of the same color. Wow. Just the color, huh? I was kind of hoping for something a little spicier than that. But I will grab a red gem. I've been holding on to gems just to see of the same color. We don't need Glacial Hammer. Wait. Blue. You want a blue gem? Skitterbots? No, we might use that. Kinetic Bolt? Oh, it's plus 6%. That goes there. Ice Nova. We're going to throw Ice Nova into it. We have two choices. 3% quality of gem would be nice if I had a high quality gem already, but 3% not that much. So let's see what we get. We're going to get a random transfigured gem. Currently it is an Ice Nova. It deals 29 to 44 in a circle. And now I have my choice. Frost Blink of Wintry Blast, Body Swap of Sacrifice, or Purifying Flame of Revelations. Frost Blink of Wintry Blast. Teleport to a location, damaging enemies in an area at both ends of the teleport. Deals higher damage to chilled enemies. Cannot inflict chill. More damage with hits after 5% chilling effect. Removes chill after damaging. This is the new thing. Is there a bunch of different things you can do with gems now offered at the Divine Font. Enchants are gone. You can add XP to them, add a bunch of stuff. Yeah, and these are the new gems are like this. They took a skill that was already in the game and they changed it in some weird random way. Body Swap of Sacrifice. This spell deals 5 to 7 plus 4% of your maximum life as base fire damage. Explosion deals base fire damage equal to 15% of the minion's maximum life, because you pick a minion and the minion blows up. Less damage with ailments. 200% more area of effect of consuming a minion. Purifying Flame of Revelations. Deals 12 to 23 fizz. Fire spell, AoE, duration, physical. 50% of physical damage converted to fire. Adds radius to consecrated ground. Adds additional shockwave damage. This is the only one I might conceivably use, so we'll go with that. Yeah, we're done here. We have ascended. We have ascended. We have ascended. And there's... Nope, that's not it. There's the Sentinel of Radiance. 40 seconds. 40 mana it costs. And the minion lasts 32 seconds. And we return to town. Yes, exactly. PoE has a solid foundation. You can try wacky stuff. I think the devs here are acknowledging that they're willing to be more experimental with PoE because they have PoE 2 coming. And so they sort of said, we'll deal with it. And so they've changed up 100 of the core gems more and said, and basically with the attitude, some of these are going to suck. Some of these are going to be so broken in ways that we didn't test. Okay. So they are willing to take chances because they do know that the core of the game is in a good place.
You're right.
And maybe they're also testing stuff out for PoE 2. I had a chemistry set in the 60s. I'm not sure I ever did anything with it. Of course, I'm the same way now. Why would I want to do anything with it? I might need that later. Why would I use that currency item to improve my item? I might need that later. It's not smart, but it's true. Oh, I am definitely one of them. Get to the end of an RPG, and you have a bag with 250 healing potions in it. I might need this later. That's actually not bad. That's a lot of energy shield. I kind of like that one too. Holy crap. All right, we're keeping both of those. We're not keeping that, though. And we're not keeping that.
Bring me back something.
Exactly. Why would I want to use a potion? I might need it later. It would be helpful right now. Yeah, but I might need it later. Yeah. I have a number of game kinks. Now, I'll be frank. PoE has helped me get rid of one of my game kinks. Used to be in ARPGs, I had to check every inch of every map. I might miss something. PoE has mostly cured me of that. Yeah. I don't really have that one anymore, fortunately. Knock on wood. Now this thing seems pretty good, actually. Because it's adding 10 to 21 to fire damage to spells. That seems good. Increased elemental. Okay, that one doesn't matter. And this has a whole lot of life on it. I'm short on sockets, though, unless I want to lose my elemental resists. Yeah, it's one of the cool things that that Grim Dawn does do is hide things, little bits and pieces hidden around. It's one of the reasons why I am far more likely to actually. I mean, if you saw my maps while I was playing Grim Dawn, they were pretty much all exposed because I've played the game enough to know that I want to look what's around the corner. Yeah, so you saw me doing it there. That is definitely a thing I do. Right over here, we've got what? Well, I think the first thing is that we need at least 2 sockets. Yay, we got 3. That's better. 3 is better than 2. I can math. I can solidly math. So let's see. Currently, they do... It doesn't say how much they do. I hate skills that do that. We'll go over here. This one does a total of 108 base damage. And now it's doing 150 base damage, 140 base damage. That's better. Now, granted, this one has a couple of minion abilities on it. Minions dealing 19%. That's not an awful lot. I think the base damage numbers make that worth using instead. Over here we have Holy Flame Totem, some Phantasm support on that. We can check on that as well. While we're here, the Wave of Conviction does 773. Less. So we'll stick this here for now. We really would like this. That's a lot more energy shield. 80 more energy shield. And an open suffix for a resist if we need one. Well, we'll hold on to it for now. We'll see if we can get something better later. We will check with Hargan.
There you go.
There you go. See if he just happens to have any, I don't know, 4 socket chests with better stats. Well, 4 link. Okay, 4 link. Thanks, Hagen. I know you're trying your best. Just not that good. Back to the Imperial Gardens. Yeah, I think we can get Unleash in there. Back to the Imperial Gardens. Gravel Gnaw. Dude, that's gonna just really rip right through your teeth. Chewing on gravel is never the right answer. Big spooter. More spooters. Somebody is facing the Shaper already. An aided etching.
I didn't trust him at first, but he aided us.
Somebody's fighting the Shaper already. That's some Major League endgame stuff you got going on there, dude. Razor Stink. I've been called worse. All right. Grab the portal scroll. What is wrong with my character's appearance in that white shirt? Clipping into the vest. Well, it is. You're right. It is actually clipping. That kind of visible visual fidelity has never quite been PoE's shtick. But I don't know. Normally, I don't see anything like as obvious as that clipping. So I don't really know exactly what's going on with that. Oh, I forgot. Let me summon my Guardian friend to kick the crap out of stuff in additional amounts. Oh, Guardian friend, you don't keep up very well, do you, dude? I'm going to have to summon him a lot, I think. He's big. I'm not impressed with him so much. Oh yeah, the porcupines are one of the great killers in the game. Absolutely. It's one of the few things that actually brings fear to the top-end streamers' faces. Them and bears, if you remember bears. It's going to be faster for me to go back to town. Bears were the bearers, like flame bearers, the guys who leave the circle on the ground before they explode. They're the ones that people would call out, bears, 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 every time they showed up. Because if they're playing in multiplayer, a lot of times people would just move into the bears not knowing they were there and would get killed by the explosions. The bearers. And so it took me years of watching streamers, so bears, 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 just like unconsciously every time they saw them, because they're so used to saying it. Alright, into the library where Siosa waits, and Siosa will give us, I think, our Unleash. I think. If not, we'd be able to buy it from him at least. Yep, the porcupines, bearers. Got him. All right, we're going in again. Bugs, 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 Mr. Rico, zillions of them. Four sockets. Not exactly what I'm looking for, but who knows? It might be good enough that I'd try to link it and I'd fail and then I'd regret my life choices. I don't know if there's supposed to be some sort of method to moving around in the darkness. I'll get a little bit more yellow juice there. And looks like that's about it. Back to the library. Where Siosa awaits. A much nicer ghost than Fairgraves, I have to say. I mean, Fairgraves apologizes for trying to kill you. Siosa doesn't even try to kill you. If Fairgraves was your only interaction you'd ever have with a ghost, you'd assume that they're all assholes. And here's Siosa. Grab the waypoint. Talk to Siosa.
Let's speak again.
Let's speak again soon. Good idea, Siosa. We'll do that. Right after I find your 4 golden pages. Well, we've got another chromatic orb. He has got a whispering essence of hatred on him. Mine. Mine. Pardon me. Sorry about the cough. Hope I didn't cough in your ear, but I obviously kind of definitionally did. Yeah, I think this way. Stop running around, you jerk. You make it difficult for me to kill you. No one's ever thoughtful about my needs that I need to kill them. It's always, oh, I don't want to die. You're already dead. Look, these guys are skeletons. And there it is. It's the loose candle. And now, once more into the Viridian Wildlands. Lots of glowy bits. I don't want too many glowy bits, guys. Kaboom. That was a lot of glowy bits there, I think. I don't know if there's a way to prompt it to give you the exit or not. A lot of times there'll be a button put in down there to prompt you, or prompt in the appearance of the exit mechanic. Oh, he's big. He's one of the rares. We saw him in the ooh. That might be good. It's a color of an item I've never seen before. That might be good. Where is it? That's it. A lupine charm. Nifty. Spoiler, it may not actually be nifty, but it's cool to get anyway. That unique boss was in the trailer for the new League mechanic. That's the first time I've seen him. He wasn't that tough. I don't want to embarrass him, shame him into kicking my ass next time. He just wasn't that tough. All right. Monster cold resistance and they poison on hit. That's fine. Definitely getting a 5-link with good colors here. Definitely. That's just what's going to happen. Not a prediction. It's just the simple fact. Write it down. Bet the house on it. Here it comes. 5-link. Good colors. Right there. Next time. Definitely. Probably next time. I need to see where I'm going next. Time. Yep. Really? Deathstalker's the best that guy could come up with for a name? Wow. Way to go, Edgelord. I'm impressed. 2 more pages. Really? All the way back? Yeah, all the way back. That's annoying. Oh, we got a scholar. Is that like 40 wisdom scrolls, I think? There's something shooting a whole bunch of arrows at me. Not friendly. One more golden page. I really hate those notifications. And yet it's part of my anal retentive nature that I must remove them because they sitting there drawing my attention just drives me nuts because I'm mental. Because I'm crazy. Alright, maybe not crazy. Crazy might be an overstatement. Oh, you broke up into little smaller mobs. Oh, adorable. I bet everyone wishes they could do that. A cobalt tarnished spirit shield of the starfish. Okay, sure. Thank you. Eccentric, eccentric is a description either for someone who's crazy and rich or eccentric. I'm not rich, so I'll take the eccentric part of the equation. Back to town, then back to Ciosa, and then back to town. It's complicated. And then I will probably be calling it an evening. In fact, I'll definitely be calling it an evening. As I've been sitting on my butt for too long. Back to the library. For me, yeah, I normally do about 2 hours. I start to feel it after about 2 hours. But historically, PoE leagues are the times I stream longest. I used to do 8 hours Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But as I've grown slightly less, happy with the place the game was in, I've reduced those hours significantly. Fire pen, cold pen, lightning pen, fort. Burning damage. Blasphemy, swift bind, archmage, divine's blessing, pulverize, intensify, energy leech. Arrogance, Guardian's Blessing. We'll take Fire Pin, I think. And we'll see what does Unleash cost. Unleash still not available? Seriously? But I want it. Did I miss it? No, the red one is, yeah, it's doing, yeah, it's something, it's unleashing a fiery fissure. I'm looking specifically for the support gem Unleash, which basically takes a spell and casts it 3 times. So it's useful for summoning 3 Raging Spirits per right click. I would have sworn it was available by now. I would have sworn incorrectly. Well, Ciosa stuff is basically anything that's available from any of the vendors, plus a bunch of stuff. Now, it's probably a reward that I haven't unlocked yet. So I'm going to guess it's from Gravicius. So, how about I go and kill Gravicius as a reward for Gravicius? So we're going to try that. I'm going to skip this because I'm just trying to do this really quick because Gravicius is right up here at the top of the stairs. The second batch of stairs, not this stairs, the next stairs. And we'll see if we get that the reward for killing Gravicious from Armoa. Is that her name? Can't remember. Okay, the next set of stairs. So we preload with as many of our almost dead. Almost dead. Get him. Get him, guys. You got him. Thank you. Yeah, Marmoa. So, now we'll go back to town again. Exit character selection. Should be her. I think it's her. Of course, I thought it was Theosa.
You are the true spirit.
Ice Clash, Stormbind, Flame Blast, Firestorm, Shock Nova. It's not her. None of these are support gems. Consecrated Path, Dominating Blow, Armageddon Brand, Divine Ire, Penance Grab. I'll grab Penance Brand because it's supposed to be broken. There's the music again that people are complaining about. Don't suppose you've got an Unleash here, do you, sweetheart? Unleash. Nope. They hate me. That's what it is. Yeah, there was music. It's one of the top end set, I think, of the new supporter pack. So I think that's the $480 pack. Comes with a goblin band that follows you around. PoE Unleash. I gotta know. It's a level 38 skill. It's available in Act 4. So yeah, it's just not available yet. Because I'm still in Act 3.
Bye.
There it is. There they are. They'll start playing again in a minute. So that's the guy who dropped the $480. I think it's in the most expensive pack. The $480 pack. But I am going to call it here. I want to thank you guys for hanging out very, very much. Special nod to Nodnox for the chat. I think I'm a better streamer when I have an active chat, and he has helped provide that. Thank you very much. I should be back tomorrow at the regular time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, but I may feel enthused enough to have an early session stream as well. I'll announce it on the Discord, and if so, that would probably start somewhere around noon Pacific time, most likely, between 11 and 1 p.m. Pacific time. So that would be 9.5 to 7.5 hours before now. With more PoE. I'm enjoying the new league. It's a good league. The build is coming along. Not quite there yet, but of course, it never would be. I'm only level 36, 37, 38. So, I'll be back tomorrow. Again, thank you guys for hanging out. I hope the rest of your Friday night or Saturday morning goes great and that your weekend kicks ass. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a great night tonight. Take care, and ciao for now. Good night, guys.